Throughout history, mankind has wondered. Like the guy who first looked at his cart sitting on square blocks of wood and said,
"If I make block round, maybe it roll better."
And the wheel was born. Or the legend of Sir Isaac Newton, who sat under a tree when an apple fell on his head, and he probably said,
"I wonder if that will leave a mark."
But then he wondered some more and eventually formulated
The law of falling apples?
the law of gravity.
Ooh, I like the sound of that even better.
Or Dennis Bellori, an Italian watchmaker who in 1536 jumped from a cathedral with a pair of spring-loaded wings and asked,
I wonder if this will fly.
Needless to say, it didn't. But that wouldn't stop others from trying. And in 1903, Orville and Wilbur Wright proved that two wrongs don't make a right, but two rights can make a successful airplane. Now, the reason we mention all of this is because this podcast aims to carry on the fine tradition of wondering about all kinds of stuff. Because, let's face it, we live in a strange world, and a lot of weird questions need to be asked, and we're just the ones to do it. So with that, welcome to the podcast that answers some of the questions you've always wondered about.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for joining us. Today, we begin with the end.
Huh?
Or what should be the end, and is now somehow the beginning.
Let me repeat. Huh?
Okay, let's explain. You're at a movie theater. You've got your 64-ounce soft drink, your giant tub of popcorn, your box of Raisinets.
Can I have Milk Duds instead?
Sure.
Oh, wait, how about Goobers?
Fine.
No, better make it Snow Caps.
Look, it doesn't matter. You can have whatever kind of movie candy you want.
Okay then, good and plenty it is.
Anyway, the lights finally dim, and here they come. Highlights of upcoming movies. They're the trailers. So that brings us to our question. Have you always wondered why they're called trailers if they come before the movie?
That doesn't make any sense.
You're right. I mean, when you travel down the road, the trailer doesn't pull the truck pulls the trailer. It's not the leader, it's the trailer.
So what gives?
Well, it turns out there is a logical explanation for it. Of course, we mean logic in the Hollywood sense.
So Hollywood logic.
That's right.
Like when the villain falls off a cliff, gets run over by a train, gets stabbed and still lives?
Yep.
Or where the sheriff has a 6-shooter but gets off 10 or 12 rounds before he needs to reload.
That's the one.
Or where the heroine gets thrown from the boat, swims a mile through shark-infested waters, crawls onto the beach, and her makeup still looks perfect. That kind of logic?
Precisely.
Just checking.
Well, back in the day, the trailers did come at the end of the movie. But the theaters and the studio execs noticed something. As soon as the credits rolled, the audience didn't stick around for the trailers. They headed for the exits.
Or if you had the 64-ounce soft drink like me, you're headed for the restrooms.
Right. So some Hollywood bigwig had an idea.
How about we show the trailer before the movie?
Yep, that way they'd now have a captive audience for the coming attractions. Of course, they could have easily changed the name from trailers, but probably said something like,
Why bother?
So the name stuck, like gum on a theater seat. And it's been that way ever since.
In a world where trailers come first, logic always comes second.
And now you know.
The Always Wondered podcast.
This is the podcast where we dig into life's little mysteries, one doodle at a time. And today, we explore maybe the most well-known doodle of them all. So have you always wondered how Yankee Doodle became one of the most beloved patriotic songs of all time? And secondly, what's up with those macaroni caps?
Oh, that song.
My good man, that was our song. A proper British burn against those scruffy colonial yokels.
That's right. Before it was America's patriotic pop, Yankee Doodle was actually a diss track from the 1700s. The British Army was the mightiest fighting force in the entire world, and British soldiers used to sing it to mock the American colonists. Yankee? Yeah, that was a jab at the New Englanders. And Doodle meant something like, well,
Simpleton.
right. And that whole macaroni business?
Stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni.
Well, macaroni was a term for the ultra-fancy men of London. Powdered wigs, elaborate hats, and enough lace to upholster a carriage.
Ah, yes. We were so fashionable we called ourselves macaronis. Not the pasta, the lifestyle.
So when the song says, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni, it's basically saying,
This peasant thinks sticking a feather in his cap makes him high fashion. How adorable.
Yep, the British were throwing some 18th century shade.
Yeah? Well, the joke's on them, buddy! Ha!
That's right, because when the American Revolution rolled around, the colonists basically said,
We're taking that tune and making it our own!
and they did, as the colonists turned a British taunt into an American anthem, proving the best way to beat an insult is sometimes just to do it louder.
Blimey. Those Yanks are now singing their revolution.
And the legend of Yankee Doodle was firmly cemented after the Battle of Yorktown. That was the decisive victory that the colonists needed to end the war. And as more than 7,000 British troops marched in formation to officially surrender, they did it as the Americans played Yankee Doodle.
Oh, splendid. They turned our diss into a chart topper.
So the next time you hum Yankee Doodle, remember, it's not just a tune about ponies and pasta. It's a revenge mix from 1776.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Time now to unravel one of our great fashion mysteries, stitch by stitch. Have you always wondered why blue jeans are blue? Now, we could have embraced green jeans or purple pants or khakis, but blue jeans won the wardrobe lottery. So let's set the stage. Before blue jeans officially strutted down the runway or trudged through the mud, there was a durable cotton fabric first produced in Nîmes, France. And if you were to say from Nîmes in French, it would be
de Nîmes,
which of course us Americans turned into simply denim. And the French are still probably shaking their heads over that.
Sacre bleu!
So back in the 1800s, a German immigrant named Levi Strauss, you know that name, and a tailor named Jacob Davis were trying to make work pants that could survive anything. Gold miners, cowboys, caffeinated toddlers, when they hit upon a winning idea.
I know! We'll take that denim and bolt it together, like a bridge!
Yep, with metal rivets as reinforcements, jeans were born. Tough, practical, and apparently immortal. But why make them blue? Well, Strauss and Davis decided to use a natural dye called indigo, which comes from the indigo plant. It was a dark blue color, and it hid dirt and grime really well, which is important because in the Old West, they didn't exactly have access to laundromats or soap.
Laundry day? Yeah, that's whenever it rains.
Now here's where things get a bit sciencey. Most dyes soak right into the fabric, but indigo doesn't. It sits on top of the cotton fibers.
In purely technical terms, the indigo molecules are like your friend who shows up to help you move, but then only supervises.
So what does it all mean? Well, as you wash and wear blue jeans, a bit of the indigo rubs off, giving you that signature worn look. And because the dye didn't fully penetrate the material, that made the fabric feel softer. So not only do they look good as they age, they feel increasingly more comfortable.
It's the comfiest relationship I ever had. That didn't require texting back.
And as the years went by, it wasn't just miners and cowboys wearing them. It was rock stars, rebels, and movie stars who were all slipping into a pair. So the next time you pull on those trusty blue jeans, remember, they're blue because science made it smart, history made it practical, and fashion made it iconic.
The Always Wondered podcast.
Well, it is time to put the finishing touches on another episode of Always Wondered. And this is the part of the program where we ask you to please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
See, we told you that would happen, and it did. Remember, look for Always Wondered Podcast on Facebook. We'll keep you up to date on what's coming, and you'll find links to TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for fun little videos of some of our topics. As always, we leave you with one to ponder. Have you always wondered if see and look are pretty much the same thing? How come oversee and overlook are opposites? Until next time, stay curious and keep wondering. I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for listening.
The Always Wondered podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a 5-star rating and a review. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you pod. Feel free to offer suggestions for future topics or simply reach out to alwayswonderedpodcast@gmail.com.